Well, normally I do the gaming, but Brooks was so excited about Smash Brothers Brawl that, hey, watch it back there, that we grabbed Shane Bettenhausen of the 1UP Network, and they talked a little Nintendo we love.
Hey, it's Brooks, and we are bringing you a hot new title today from Nintendo. Yes, it's that time. We are going to interview Shane Bettenhausen, executive editor from 1UP Network, with Super Smash Brothers Brawl. That's a mouthful. Shane, welcome back to our show.
Always glad to be here.
So, Super Smash Brothers Brawl. First of all, I gotta say this is kind of a big deal, right?
It's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal.
It's probably the biggest game Nintendo's put out yet for Wii. The last Smash Brothers on GameCube was the best-selling GameCube game of all time. So
right.
This is on track to maybe be the next best-selling game they've ever done.
What I hear is in Japan, it's already sold 1 million copies in the first 11 days or something?
It's a huge hit, selling out. I mean, Wii is already hard to find. When this game came out, it got even more impossible to find. And it's like the ultimate Nintendo love letter. For if you're a Nintendo fan, this is a game you have to get.
So this is coming out in March, right?
March 9th, which is a Sunday, because Nintendo is so big they can actually release a game on Sunday here. And it's expected to sell 1 million copies right off the bat.
Awesome. All right. So can you explain a little bit about the history of Smash Brothers and why it's become such a sort of phenomenon in Nintendo's world?
Smash Brothers started on the Nintendo 64, and at that point, it kind of came out of nowhere. It was this weird little fighting game where they took characters from the different Nintendo franchises, like Mario, Zelda, Samus from Metroid, just kind of stuck them in this like free-for-all party fighting game. It's not a serious fighting game like Street Fighter. It's more of a game anybody can play, where you're just kind of messing around, throwing things at people. And it just really clicked with Nintendo fans and like kids, adults, anybody can play it. There's not a big barrier to entry. So the sequel was on GameCube, and that was huge. And this is the third iteration, and they really upped the ante this time.
All right, now, so what are some of the new things in this version of the game that's different, other than the fact that it's on the Wii?
Right. Well, being on the Wii, people expected maybe they'd go crazy with Wii controls, like you're flailing around, and not really. I mean, there's a lot of different control options, but none of them involve using the pointer to play. What's different are new characters. You always expect some new characters, and there are some people who've been wanting to see it for a long time, like Kid Icarus. He's a character that they haven't made a game for him in over a decade, so fans are happy to see him back. New stages, some new modes. There's a much longer single-player mode, which actually has a story now. Nice. That's new. You can play co-op through that. But probably the big addition is online play, and that's still like a new frontier for Nintendo. This is definitely the biggest, most high-profile game they've ever put out with online play.
And you've had a chance to try that out?
Yeah, and it works pretty well. I mean, you still have to use the friend code thing, which all Wii games do, so that's kind of a headache. You have to put in these long digits if you want to find your friends. Right. But if you want to play against strangers, it's really quick and easy. And there's even some cool things like you can bet on other people's matches and just watch them. Nice. So it's kind of like teaching kids to gamble. Kind of
cool. Well, that's a good thing, maybe.
Right. So, but yeah, that's a big change for this guy.
So what would you say is probably your most exciting new feature of this game?
Well, the online play is awesome, but also that single-player mode is better than you'd expect. And they got the guy who wrote the story to Final Fantasy VII. His name is Nojima. He's a famous scenarist in Japan to write that story. And it's not exactly the kind of serious fare you'd expect, since you do have like Mario and Pikachu you're fighting Donkey Kong. But it's more fun than you would think. And the fact that you can play through that whole mode co-op, it's a meatier thing than you're used to finding in a Smash Brothers.
Cool. So now I know you were telling me before that there are multiple different ways to play the game.
Right.
Can you just sort of like show us what the different options are?
So the basic one is using nunchuck and Wiimote, and you're jumping with this, you're attacking, you're blocking. You have all the buttons, but it's not really using motion control. You're just kind of using both of these. But say you have 4 friends over and you don't have that many controllers, you can actually play with just the nunchuck, but you're really limited. You only have 2 buttons here, so you have to press some things in combination to get like your shield to work, and it's not ideal. You can also play with just the Wiimote, but again, you're kind of missing some buttons, so you have to reconfigure it.
So it's a little bit of a handicap, which makes it a little bit.
So really, the best way to play is with the classic controller, or even better, a GameCube controller, because you can just open that flap and plug it in, and then it plays exactly like Melee. There's no relearning. That's really the best way to play it.
Okay, now tell us, is there any one juicy secret that you can think of about this game? I know all the characters have sort of been out there, and everybody pretty much knows about that, but is there anything that gamers might not know that would be interested in knowing about this game?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, all the actual in-game stuff is known, so that everything's out there. But the big secret is who actually made this game, and their name isn't even on the title screen, because the company that used to make these games kind of went kaput. So the guy who created it, they brought him back, and he got this company called Game Arts. It's a Japanese RPG development house. They made Lunar and Grandia, some of these famous Japanese RPGs. They actually made this game, and it's kind of a secret. So
that is a secret. All right, thanks Shane. Man. You guys heard it here first. Super Smash Brothers Brawl is going to be out Sunday, March 9th, $49.99 at any major retailer near you. Back to you guys.
Continue.
Thank you, Shane, and thank you, Brooks. Smash Brothers, your game, or
not really my cup of tea.
No? What are you playing these days?
RPGs and real-time strategy games. Sins of a Solar Empire is my sort of RTS of choice right now.
Cool.